Kate is 90 meters due west of Percy on a level road. She sees that the angle of elevation of a kite flown by the sun is 3 degrees. Percy says that the kite is due north at an angle of elevation of 38 degrees. Calculate the height of the kite. Now immediately, when we have direction left, right, as well as up, then we need to know that we're working with a three-dimensional figure. Easiest way to do a three-dimensional figure is the following. I'm going to start off with a square, and then I'm going to make another square halfway through that, about the same size. I'm going to connect the dots. I'm going to finish the square, and that will do for now. Now what they say is that Percy, they say Kate is due west to Percy. So if I have north, east, south, west, and we say Kate is due west of Percy, it means Kate will be on the west, so Kate will be here, and Percy will be over there. Kate has an angle of elevation of a kite flown by the sun, and that's 30 degrees. So it means from Kate, she's looking up at 30 degrees. We don't know which direction. She can look in any direction and see the kite. However, they say Percy sees that the kite is due north. Now, because I've got a three-dimensional figure, we will have to change the plane. So if this is here and this at the bottom, this level here is flat, then north is going to be over there, east is going to be over there, south is going to be here, north, east, south, west. So that is how the plane will look like. So Kate is due west to Percy, Percy is looking north, and then he'll have an angle of elevation, so he's looking up and he sees the kite over there. So we're going to do that in the corner, and we're going to see that he sees the kite going there. So he's looking up, seeing the kite. Now, where's my triangle? He's facing due north, and the kite is up there. Now, this is a 90 degrees, and we know that this is the height. Kate is looking at the same kite. So from there, Kate is looking up there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete the line. So I'm going to have a line on the ground straight underneath the kite, which means that there's the triangle that Kate is looking up at, and she's looking at an angle of 30 degrees. And what's his name? Percy looked up at 38 degrees. So that angle there is 38 degrees. We know that Kate and those two were 90 meters apart. So we've got three different triangles that I'm working with. I'm going to redraw that sketch a little bit bigger here, but that's how my sketch is going to look like. I'm going to have the height that I have to calculate. So just over there, there's my height. Then we're going to have Kate's a triangle. That angle of elevation is 30 degrees. I'm going to say that is Kate. I'm going to finish up with Percy's triangle. Percy's triangle here was 38 degrees. And I'm also going to draw then on the ground. This is a triangle between Kate and Percy, the one over there. So that is then where Percy is. And what we know is we know that this is 90 meters. Okay, not a lot of information. They want to know what is the height. So the height is the thing that we have to calculate. That is the height. Now, we have to have two pieces of information on any triangle to solve anything. We're working with right angle triangles, so we're not working with the sine and cos rule. We will have to do something else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have h as my common value there. And to make it easier, I'm going to call this y. Let's just call this y, and I'm going to call this angle x. Okay, so that I have something with h in there. Now, what we want to do is I'm going to find h in terms of the two triangles. So in my blue triangle, I'm going to say that h over x, so h over x in the blue triangle is opposite over hypotenuse equals the tan of 30 degrees. If I rewrite it as h, I'm going to multiply by x both sides, so x equals the tan of 30 degrees. In the same breath, I'm going to do the same for the green. I'm going to say that in this green triangle, h over y is the opposite over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent. H over y equals the tangent of, and that angle there is 38 degrees. If I rewrite it, I'm going to say h equals, multiplied by y, is a tan of 38 degrees. So, if h is the same for both of them, it means that x tan 30 must equal y tan 30. Because I know what I'm doing, I'm just going to swap the two. You might not know to do it first off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say y, therefore, y tan of 30 degrees equals x tan 30. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by x both sides, because in my pink triangle, if remember this is now 90 degrees, that is 90 degrees. So if I have y over x opposite, if this is theta, let's make that theta. If I have that angle, opposite over hypotenuse equals the sine. So if I can write y over x, I have a ratio in the pink triangle. So I'm going to say y over x by dividing by x on both sides. So y divided by x equals, and I'm going to divide by tan 30 on both sides. Now I'm going to start, I'm going to divide by tan 30 on both sides. So it's going to be tan 30 divided by, oh, this is 38, sorry, this is 38, not to confuse you. So divide by tan 38. Okay, let's just leave that x is blue. So I divided by x and I divided by tan 38. Now I have y over x. I can calculate this on my calculator. I'm going to say tan 30 divided by tan 38 on my calculator. And I want to show you because I'm going to show you, we're going to say tan of, make sure you calculate this in degrees, the tan of 30 divide by, oh, delete, go out, divide by the tan of 38, tan of 38, enter, and my answer is 0. Now that is a big answer. I don't want to take that answer and just round it off too early, because we don't know how is that going to influence. So you're going to say that's 0.739, but I want to use that value as is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my store function, that blue function. So I'm just going to say control store. And what do I want to store it? You can pick any of these numbers. I'm just going to store it as A. So it shows answer A. If I press enter, it says now that this value equals A, which is 0.7359. Okay, so I know that tan 30 over tan 38 is 0.3y. But in my pink triangle, what is y over x? Y over x, for that, if that is theta, y over x is opposite over hypotenuse, and opposite over hypotenuse equals the sine of theta. Just going to write it there. Sine theta equals y over x. And that's why I could replace that with y over x. So that y over x is the sine of theta, which means I can find that angle theta now by saying theta equals the inverse sine of 0.739. On my calculator, I already have that value. I probably didn't have to store it, because all I have to do, I don't press any buttons yet. I'm going to say trig, I'm going to say inverse sine, and if I use now this, the negative sign has got a thing, I don't know if you can see it there, it says negative, it says answer. So if I say control answer, it brings an answer there. And if I say enter, it gives us a value of 47.6441 degrees. Okay, so now I have this. If I can solve either x or y, I can then find h because I have an angle there. Now I'm just going to use with the y because it's the closest. You can use any one that you want to. And I just want to draw some lines because I need, there's some space. Okay, so back to my green calculator. What do I know? I'm still in pink. I know that in my pink, y over 90 equals, in my pink, y over 90 is opposite over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent, which is the tangent of theta, which means that if I want to find y, I can multiply by 90 both sides. It gives me 90 tan of 47.6441. Now I still haven't changed that value, so all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to say that is my angle. So I'm going to say trig tan of my last answer, enter, and I still have to multiply it by, multiply it by 90 down here. So I'm still just going to say times 90, enter, and it gives me a y value of 98.7152, which I'm not going to round off yet. Okay. Now I have y. If I have y and I have an angle, I can find h. Okay, I'm going to say that h over y, opposite over hypotenuse, equals the tangent of 38. I already had it here. Therefore, h equals y times the tangent of 38. On my calculator, I still have what is y. So I already have y. Y is 98. Multiply the answer with the tangent of 38, tangent of 38, and my answer is for the height is 77.1248 meters. And that is then my final answer. This is a complex question. You had to do quite a few things. This will now become complex routine. I'm quickly going to take some time. I know it's a long video already, but just quickly going to talk about assumptions and effects. What I have to remember is if I make any assumptions, one of the assumptions that I'm going to do here is I have to assume, I'm going to say assumptions and its effects. Now I'm not going to be able to write all of them down, but the first thing is I have to assume, I'm going to say assume, and I'm going to write nice full sentences. Assume that the point of elevation is taken from the ground. Points of elevation, or angle of elevation, sorry, angle of elevation is taken from the ground. What is the effect? Well, if it's not taken from the ground, it means it's taken from eye level. And if Kate and Percy is not exactly the same height, this is not going to be the same effect. The other thing that, so you can say the effect is, if the assumption you have to take into account the height of both people, and that have to be added to the height. If this is eye level, it means that this height is eye level height, and you have to bring in the whatever their height was in there. That will be the effect. Another effect can be when they did this, it was at exactly the same time. Most kites fly in wind, which means that if you don't take it exactly the same time, the kite have either moved up or moved down. So that is just two assumptions with their specific effects.